Hey friends, I'm working on a top-down twin-stick shooter game inspired by the Black Dust NFT project. Hi, my name is Midnight Modesto, I'm with Supercharged Weasel Games, and welcome to my devlog. So while playtesting my game, I realized that the performance was being impacted by the enemies. I don't really have a lot of enemies, or I guess I should take that back. I want to have a lot of enemies on the screen at the same time, but right now I only have one type of enemy. And that's pretty scary because typically I wouldn't look to do performance optimization for a game until the development was completed. Then I'd go back and start chipping away to make the performance better. But I haven't even completed the prototype and I'm already seeing performance issues. Again, that's really scary. I'm starting to wonder, will I even complete this game? So I thought a lot about what might be causing the performance issue, and what I believe it is that when enemies are instantiated, or when they become active, they stay active even if they're not on the screen. Like, they may activate, the player walks away, and yet they are still remaining there, taking up CPU and memory resources, regardless of what's being shown on the screen. So I think a better way to handle that is to make sure that when enemies are off screen, that they're deactivated and not taking up CPU and memory resources. Currently I have the responsibility of activating enemies put on spawners. These spawners will activate enemies based on how close a player will get to them. I'd like to have that same kind of activation for the enemies, but obviously when the player goes away, based on how near or far they are to the enemy, it would deactivate the enemy. Luckily, the top-down engine that I'm using, which is an asset from the Unity asset store, already has a solution to this. There's a proximity manager that you can add to the scene, and then you have to add a script to each of your enemies, but essentially it checks to see how close they are to the player, and if they're too far away, it'll deactivate them. I'd love to say putting that in place fixed it instantly, but it didn't. There were some conflicts with the spawners activating the enemies and then the proximity manager trying to deactivate the enemies. Those didn't work well together, so I had to make some updates to the scripts. Once that was all done, I was able to put all the responsibility of the activation on the spawners and all the responsibility of deactivation on the proximity manager. Checking the performance now, and everything works great. I'm really starting to feel relaxed now. It looks like it's going to work out. The performance is back up to par. I feel really good about moving forward with the game. Now that performance is back up to par, I'd like to add some more enemy types. Since right now I just have the one, I'd like to add more enemies, and hopefully I can do that without killing the performance. I don't want to expand the time to complete or expand the scope of the game, so I'm going to use the enemies that I have now and just basically make some variations to them, color-wise and property-wise, in the sense I'll give them different health and strength attributes, so I'll have stronger and more powerful enemies. The last change I made was to the player's weapons. Currently, they really have unlimited ammo and never need to reload. It didn't really provide a challenge, so I created new weapons that had a limited amount of ammo and required time to reload. So since they have a limited amount of ammunition, obviously I needed to create some ammunition drops, which I drop every so often based on the number of enemies destroyed. And while I was at it, I went ahead and added a updated health drop. It looks a lot better than the blue orb that I was using as a placeholder. Just a quick disclaimer, guys. All these assets that you see in the game, they're all purchased off the Unity asset store. I'm not a very good artist. I can put it together, but it's not my artwork. The ammunition drops and the health drops that I'm using, they're from the top-down engine. I'm not promoting the asset. I just want to provide you guys with full transparency so that you know where these assets are coming from. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions for the game, please let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please consider supporting me with a like and subscribe. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll see you on the next one.